In this demonstration, we are logging in as a new hire named Nevin Newby in a Workday training environment. As a new hire, Nevin just got access to Workday and has logged in for the first time. How exciting! On the home page, Nevin can see that he already has a few items awaiting his action. He can also see that there's an announcement. In this announcement, he can see the hyperlink to onboarding. This is one way to access onboarding helpful links and tasks. He could also get to the Onboarding Dashboard through all apps above. Finally, he could also navigate to his inbox. Let's see where the hyperlink takes us. We've landed on the Onboarding Dashboard. Here, Nevin can see a message from his manager, Martha Manager. He can also see there are people to meet and helpful contacts available. In addition, you can see there is a Getting Started section that includes how many tasks Nevin has ready and completed. Looks like his status is at 0%, so we should get started. Let's click on the 2 items to start the onboarding process. We are navigated to the inbox where we have inbox items. Let's have Nevin update his contact information. This includes adding and confirming his address and his email address. We'll click Submit. Nevin receives a confirmation message that the event was submitted. That was easy. Now, let's check the other inbox item. This inbox item prompts Nevin to update his personal information. You'll see after legal and preferred name that other personal information can be completed, like his gender, date of birth, race, ethnicity, citizenship status, sexual orientation, gender details, and pronouns. Each section includes details, including the visibility and usage of each piece of information. Personal information will be visible only to certain central roles in Workday, for example, HR. The exception to this is for your pronouns, which you can opt in to make your pronouns public to anyone with access to Workday. Adding race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender details, and pronouns are optional in Workday. I already added Nevin's information, so we'll click Submit. Nevin receives a confirmation message that the event was submitted. And hey, did you notice on the left that the inbox now says Refresh? Let's reload the inbox by clicking Refresh. Since we submitted the personal information and contact information steps, we get the next few onboarding steps to complete. For Nevin, this will be the Complete Form I-9 and Change Benefits for Life event steps. Form I-9 is used to verify the identity and legal authorization to work of all paid employees in the United States. I've already filled this out for Nevin, so we can click Submit. Great, it's been submitted. That was only Section 1 of the I-9. Submitting Section 1 will route the I-9 for Section 2 to be completed by the I-9 partner. Nevin can now focus on the next step, which is the Change Benefits elections. The Change Benefits step will be available for those who are eligible to select mandatory retirement elections. Ahead of time, Nevin had received a questionnaire in Workday that asked him if he was enrolled in any closed state retirement or pension plan. Nevin indicated he was not. Now let's see what his mandatory retirement elections are. Let's click Let's Get Started to begin elections. On this page, Nevin sees that he has 2 options. Workday, by default, makes it so that he can enroll in the pension. However, if he wanted to waive enrolling in the pension plan, he could click Enroll. By clicking Enroll under the 403B Optional Retirement Plan, or ORP, he can elect in one of two other retirement options. Nevin wants that pension plan, so let's click Cancel. Because the pension plan is selected by default, he can go straight to Review and Sign. This next page is a summary page where he will read more about submitting the required enrollment documents. Nevin will need to print, sign, and scan his enrollment documents, which will be provided once he clicks I accept and submit. Nevin has submitted his elections. He can now click Done. We are returned to the home page. Once Nevin has completed the I-9 form and the mandatory retirement elections, the inbox will have a new set of onboarding tasks. You can see that these inbox items are now available since we've completed the I-9 and benefits enrollment. Let's check them out. The first item you see is prompting Nevin to review documents for the pension plan he elected. Nevin will need to print, sign, and scan his enrollment documents, which he can learn about by downloading the Pension Enrollment Packet. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'll click Submit so we can see the rest of the onboarding items that populate after this step is complete. Now that we've clicked Submit and refreshed the inbox, let's view the other items in the inbox. The next item is the Onboarding Checklist inbox item. The onboarding checklist has general onboarding steps and guidelines. Notice that it is a to-do item. To-do items are typically completed outside of Workday. The different tenant partners, UMCP, UMCs, UMES, and USMO, will have their own customized version of the onboarding checklist. Nevin will click Submit on this step once he has completed the checklist. Next, let's look at the Update My Talent Profile inbox item. He can do this step through a guided editor which presets information in a step-by-step fashion, or by having all fields on one page. Let's click the Summary Editor so you can quickly see what's included in the talent profile. As you can see, the talent profile is used to record any awards and activities, certifications, education, job history, languages, publications, skills, training, and work experience. Nevin decides to do that later. Let's continue to review the other onboarding steps. I'll click the Change Emergency Contacts inbox item. Here is where Nevin can add his emergency contacts. After that, he can review the Veteran Status Identification inbox item. Nevin has the option to indicate whether he is a protected veteran. This is used for reporting purposes. He'll do the same exercise for self-identifying whether or not he has a disability or has a history/record of having a disability. Any optional answer here will be maintained confidentially and not be seen by anyone making personnel decisions. Now that we've reviewed all the inbox items, let's check the onboarding dashboard one more time. I'll navigate back to the home page by clicking the home page icon. The items awaiting Nevin's actions display below. There's also the announcement with the link to the onboarding dashboard. We'll click the announcement and then the hyperlink. How about that? Nevin's status has been updated. We completed 4 items and have 4 items left to submit. I think the Onboarding Dashboard is a great way for Nevin to track his progress. He has a few more items to work on, so we'll leave him to it. Good luck at the new job, Nevin, and thanks for watching.